I've been sent a set of the new Aeros arrows by Alec Potts, Analyzer Archery, to shoot them, see what I think of them, and let him know what they're like. These are arrows that Alec has made specifically himself for distribution through Analyzer Archery, so if you're interested in them you'll have to get in contact with him for them. Before I do, I'd have to say though that I'm not an Olympic archer like Alec, and I haven't got the scientific knowledge of aerodynamics of arrow flight that James Park has. I'm just an average shooter, but essentially they're aimed at that market. They're not aimed at the Olympic shooters. They're quite cheap. I'll tell you how much at the end. Alec, I think, has a lot of interest. I shouldn't speak for him, but I think he has a lot of interest in encouraging new archers and helping them along, and this is just another thing he's done to do that. This is how they come, fully fletched when nocked. Mine weren't cut and didn't have points in because I prefer to cut them myself, but if you aren't set up to do that or don't feel confident to do that, Alec will cut them to whatever length you need and insert the points. I actually took those nocks out. I found they're a bit tight on my bowstring and I don't want to change my bowstring. So I've put in pins and Easton pin nocks, and even doing that I could tell there was an improvement in grouping, so I was quite pleased with that. When I put the points in, I didn't do any weight matching to balance them out. They're not going to be tournament arrows. And essentially the points were 119.9 grains plus or minus half a grain anyway, so they're so close that I didn't think there was going to be much advantage. The arrows themselves worked out, 5 of them were within a 3 grain range, 226 to 229 grains. One was a bit less, 214 grains, possibly that's from my cutting, I don't know, but really to be almost all within a 3 grain range, I was pretty happy with. So I put those nocks on, and we'll go and shoot some and see what. That's a pretty typical end with the Aeros arrows, and that's admittedly only from 30 metres in an 80 centimetre face, but that's a reasonably good group for me. And that's another group with the carbon ones from the same 30 metres. So pretty similar sort of spread, I think. This is a typical group that the Aeros arrows are capable of at 60 metres, and for the standard I shoot, I'm more than happy with that. That end was a touch left, but I'm still pretty happy with the group, so there's nothing wrong with the arrows. Just need to improve the shooting a little bit. So, Aeros arrows from Analyzer Archery in Melbourne. I'm really happy with them. They shot well. Probably very close to the same sort of grouping as the carbon ones. They come fully made up, and I think for a beginner's arrow they're excellent. Can't do any better than that, I don't think. They work out to about $120 a dozen complete. Your carbon ones with spin wings in this case are close to $300 a dozen. really nice arrow, but not hugely better than the Aeros. The X10s, obviously, it was pretty hard to beat that as a tournament arrow. By the time you make them up with tungsten points, thin wings, inserts, etc., they're not far short of $1,000 a dozen. So there's a huge difference in price, and I don't tend to use my X10s for just practice at home, considering I've got a lot of huge rocks behind the target. But yeah, I'd say beginners, intermediates, practice arrows, very hard to do better than that, so you need to call Alec Potts at Eliza Archery and order a set.